Hi, I'm Mindy Peters, the Solutions Manager at SPI, and this is the second in a series of videos where I take you along with me as I delete 40% of SPI's email subscriber list. So in the last video, I explained why we are doing this, and the TLDR is that it is a fiscally responsible choice that will help us boost our email sending authority overall. And so in the long run, this is going to be very beneficial to us. What we are doing is getting rid of the subscribers who have not engaged with our content in the last 6 months or more. But before we do that, that brings us to the topic of today's video, which is we need to make sure, in the last video I think I said it was trust but verify, we need to make sure that these people truly are not engaging with our content, because sometimes the email service provider can't tell if somebody is opening emails. So they might be reading every email we send, but that information is just not making its way back into our email service provider. And it could also just be that the subscriber needed a good reminder of why they should be reading our emails. So what we are going to set up in today's video is what's called a re-engagement sequence. This is an email sequence that gives the subscriber, the cold subscriber, an opportunity to re-engage with our content. I will walk you through all of the automations that we have set up in order to achieve this. I have a particular strategy that I have set up here, and I'm going to take you along through as we put this in place. Now, this process can feel complicated. It can feel overwhelming, and that is why we've set up an email sequence that you can subscribe to, where I walk you through the process and I give you a lot of extra information that I'm showing you quickly in the video. So I will let you get a closer look at the email copy that we sent out for these emails, and as well as the automations, and help make the process for you, if you want to do this for your business, just a little bit easier. To get subscribed to that, go to smartpassiveincome.com/cold. So here are the steps of the process that we are about to walk through. Step 1, we are going to identify everyone who we think is a cold subscriber in order to get them ready to go into an automation. Step 2, we are going to set up an automation that is going to send a series of emails to these subscribers, essentially checking in and saying, hey, do you still want to be subscribed? Step 3, if someone says, ooh, hey, I'm here, keep me on your list, we need to have a way to get them out of the automation so that we don't remove them later. And step 4, when this process is complete, we need our list of people that we are going to delete. And then we'll move on to deleting those subscribers. We'll cover the deletion process in the 3rd video in this series. So back to step 1, we are going to assemble our group of people that we want to run through the process. I am on the subscribers tab and I am creating a new segment here. I am going to set this to any, and we are going to add a filter, and we'll go down to engagement score here. Our minimum star is going to be 1 and our maximum star is going to be 3. And then we'll click add filter. Before I do that, just going back to our subscriber scoring, essentially what this means is anyone who is not engaged in our content in the last 6 months, those are the people we're going to run through this cleaning process. So hit add filter, and that will give you the number of subscribers that fit that criteria. So you can see here I have 85,000 subscribers. And when I started this process 2 weeks ago, that number was actually at about 93,000. So as we move on, that's the number that you're going to see involved here working through my automation. Hit save, and then we're just going to save that segment for now, and we will come back to it in a little bit. On to step number 2 here, and this is where we set up our automation. And so I went to automations and I started a new automation. I'm calling this email maintenance, cold list pruning. And my automation is going to be kicked off when a tag is added. And the tag that I've created is called email maintenance, cold list pruning. And so when I add that tag to a subscriber, they will enter this automation. And it's a pretty simple automation. You can see we've only got a couple of steps here. The first step is an email sequence. So I'm going to put them through a series of emails that is just knock, 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 hey, is anybody still there? And they'll work through that series of emails. And then when that is done, anybody who completes that series of emails is going to get a tag added to their profile. It's just called email maintenance cold list pruning complete. And that means they went through the process and they're still here, which means they're cold. All right, so let's dig into the emails. I wrote a sequence of 4 emails to be sent over the course of 2 weeks. And here is what is happening generally with these emails. I'm not leading off in emails 1 through 3 with, hey, I'm about to unsubscribe you. And that was a decision to make, because a lot of sort of the standard advice is just send out emails that say, hey, I'm going to unsubscribe you in 2 weeks if you don't click here. And then the next email is, hey, I'm going to unsubscribe you in 10 days if you don't click here. Hey, I'm going to unsubscribe you in 7 days if you don't click here. And that works. And that is effective maybe for keeping some people on your list. But here's my rationale behind this is if the only time somebody opens one of my emails is, hey, I'm going to unsubscribe you if you don't click here, but they're never opening any of my other emails, then they're not really using my emails. They're not using the content that SPI is putting out. They're not getting any value from it. They're just staying on the list. And that doesn't help them and it doesn't help us. And so there's no point. And so what we did with these emails is we said, for the first 3 of 4 emails, let's make these just as absolutely compelling as possible. Let's come out of the gate as strong as we have to offer. And if they don't take action on these, then if they don't take action on some of the very best we have to offer, then we're not right for that subscriber and they shouldn't stay on our list anyway, because clearly we're not giving them something that they want to read. So that was the approach that we took. Now, we did say in the emails, we're going to unsubscribe you, but we didn't lead with that immediately in terms of like subject line. Now you can see in this email, so this is the first one that we sent out. The subject line, 2 full days of free audience building advice from the experts. That sounds pretty compelling. But then in the first paragraph, we do say, I'll be candid. I've noticed that it's been a long time since you've opened one of our emails. And so then in the email, we go into like, I don't think you're actually using our emails. So we're going to unsubscribe you. But first, you know, you might like this. This might be good. And you can also see in the preview text, here is where in the preview text, we do say like, we're going to unsubscribe you soon. So it is still really high in the emails. It should catch people's attention, but it's not the subject line for those first 3. Now you can see for the 4th email, it is the subject line. I'm unsubscribing you tomorrow. And that email is really short. And so email 1, 2, 3. So email 1 is an event that we're offering. Email 2 are a bunch of free downloads. So they're our best lead magnets. Email 3 is a free course that we have to offer. So we've offered an event, we've offered lead magnet downloads, and we have offered a free course. That's what SPI, in large part has to offer. We have, we have events, we have checklists and handy PDFs, we have courses. If those aren't right for you, then we're probably not right for you. So in this 4th email, that's when we just do the, hey, we're going to unsubscribe you. Now let's get a little more into the mechanics here. So you can see in this email, we've got 2 calls to action. One is prominent and one is less prominent. Call to action number 1 is learn more about this event. And this is a button. This takes you to one of our websites. And what we say here is, if this sounds valuable, click the button below. You'll be able to register for the event and we're going to keep you subscribed to the SPI email list. So if they take action, if they click that button, we're going to keep them on the list. Here's how we're doing that. So we have the URL that we're sending people to, and then we've checked this box here to tag subscribers who click the link, and I've created a tag called email maintenance stay on the list. And all of the links throughout this series of emails, if anybody takes action on any of them, they get this tag added, email maintenance stay on list. And this tag is a trigger. What this tag does, and so this is a second automation that I've set up that works alongside this first automation, is that anytime that tag is added to someone, they are removed from the cold pruning automation. So if they click a link and that tag gets added to them, I'm taking them out of that automation. I'm saying this person no longer needs to complete this series of emails. I do not consider them a cold subscriber any longer. So if they click that, they'll stay on the list. Or I also give them the option, if you don't want to attend that event, but you just really want to stay on this list, you can click this link and you'll stay on that list. And so let me show you what that link looks like. So the URL that I'm sending people to is a really simple URL. It's smartpassiveincome.com/stay subscribed. And so that was another thing that I needed to set up for this process. Let me show you what that URL looks like. It's a really simple page. It just says, thanks, we'll keep you on the list. And while you're here, here's something you might be interested in. It's just our newest podcast from SPI. And, I just thought, I don't want to just say thank you. Let me give you something to do while you're here. So those are the basic mechanics of this first email. Click the button, learn about the event, and stay on the list, or just click this link and stay on the list. Now, you also want to give people the opportunity to immediately unsubscribe, because some people will be offended and they will want to unsubscribe immediately. And that's just kind of the way that it works. If you'd rather unsubscribe, no hard feelings, just click the unsubscribe link in the email footer below. And that's something that gets added into every email automatically. Let me move on to the second email, because this one is a little bit more complicated and required some extra automation. So I'm kind of stacking up the automations here. It's exactly the same as the first email in that at the top, I'm leading with, hey, I'm going to unsubscribe you soon because I think that you're not interested. And I even go so far as to call that first email that I've sent a breakup email. Use some humor, use some creativity. You know your voice well, but that's what we've got here. So now I have 5 links right here, and each one of those is to a PDF download. Now you don't have to have 5. It's sort of whatever you have available. I just went through all of our lead magnet PDFs and said, which are my favorites? Which ones are the best? Are any of them new that maybe an older subscriber wouldn't have seen? Let's include these in the email. And so at SPI, we kind of have 3 classic cheat sheets: the affiliate marketing cheat sheet, the email marketing cheat sheet, and the podcast cheat sheet. But then we also have 2 new things that we've created within the last year, 18 months. And so these are newer things that then I wanted to lead with. And so I've listed all of those out here. So you can see that I have the URL I'm sending them to is directly to the PDF download. And then rather than that stay subscribed tag that I talked about, I set up an extra tag for each one of these. The reason being here is I want to track 2 things at the same time. Number 1, keep them subscribed. And number 2, hey, they downloaded whichever of those lead magnets that they clicked on. So here's how I did that. In my list of automations here, these email maintenance ones are the ones that are related to this process. And you can see I've got email maintenance trigger and then each of those cheat sheets listed. So that was an extra automation for each one, but they're very simple. All that I'm doing here is adding a tag, and that tag was trigger, email maintenance, affiliate marketing cheat sheet. I always put the word trigger in front of a tag if that tag is just intended to kick off an automation, because it's not really like a tag I would use to like send an email broadcast to this tag. It's just basically saying, hey, get this thing that I think is a really good use for tags. And so that that's just why I named it what I did. But anyway, when that tag is added, two things happen. Number one, they get that email maintenance stay on the list tag, and that's the one that then removes them from the cold list pruning automation. And then they also get the tag that says, hey, this person has downloaded, in this case, the affiliate marketing cheat sheet. Start all of the things related to somebody just downloaded the affiliate marketing cheat sheet. And in that case, it like kicks off an email series and does a bunch of other stuff. So for each one of these, then I have an automation set up. And then I have, again, the option of, if you don't want any of those things, but you just really want to stay on the list, click this link. And so again, if we look at that link, it's just that tag, email maintenance, stay on list, and the URL is that stay subscribed page. Cool. So let's move on here to the third email. And this is very similar. Again, this is just telling people, hey, go check out Build Your Own Brand. In this case, I started the email with just like the pitch of like, hey, go check out Build Your Own Brand. And then lower down in the email is when I went into the whole like, hey dude, I'm gonna unsubscribe you. And again, so this button, it sends you off to the site where you can learn more about the Build Your Own Brand free course. And if you click on that, you get that email maintenance stay on list. And if you just want to stay on the list, click this link and we'll keep you subscribed. Now we're in the fourth email, and this email is just, dude, I'm gonna unsubscribe you tomorrow. And if you really don't want to be unsubscribed, just click this link and I'll keep you on the list, but otherwise I'm gonna unsubscribe you. And in the PS, I included a paragraph on, if you are reading this email well after this period of time, essentially, don't panic. You can always resubscribe to the list. Here's where you go to resubscribe to the list. And I've included this because any time we send any email with a deadline, inevitably we get emails into our support inbox saying, I missed the deadline because I was doing X. I was hiking the Appalachian Trail and I wasn't checking my email and I missed that thing, and oh, can I please do that? And so the goal of this is just, if somebody does read this later, I want to tell, and they genuinely wanted to stay on the list and they just genuinely weren't engaging in the content for a period of time, here's how you get back on. To prepare yourself is, some people will be offended by this and you will get angry responses into your, whatever your reply email address is, into your support inbox. Our wonderful customer support manager, Known, who manages the email inbox, let me know kind of in a like, oh, here they come. We get profane emails from people telling us where we can stick it, in response to this. This is going to offend some people. So be ready for that, and just, it's okay. We are not for everybody, and some people will be angry with you, and you know what? That's okay, because it is your email list and you can decide to remove someone from it if you want to. So that's my little pep talk for you around that process. Once you have all of your emails written, paced out, set up, you need to turn those emails on. There's one other thing you maybe noticed right here, and in emails 2, 3, and 4, you'll see a little filter. And this little filter is essentially redundant. It's not strictly necessary, but I put it there just to be in case, just in case. So let's click on that. I'm excluding from this email anybody who has the tag email maintenance stay on list. Now, if everything worked out the way it was supposed to be, they should have been removed from the sequence already. That is what this automation is doing. When that tag gets added, it takes them out of the cold list pruning automation. But just in case, I am also filtering folks out as well. So from each individual email, I'm just excluding anybody who has that tag. And you can see right now I've got 1,500 subscribers who have that tag. That's awesome. That means that 1,500 people, when they went through this process, said, I want to stay on that list. Okay, so be sure to publish your emails, turn them all on. go back to your automation, and there's one thing we're going to add in the bottom here, which is just this tag that says when they complete that email sequence, I want to give them a tag. And this tag is going to be the pool of people that we're going to delete. Okay, final thing, make sure to make your automation live. Once you have it live, once you have all of those emails ready to go and you are ready to rip that Band-Aid off and put all of these people through that automation, now you're going to go back to your segment that you made earlier in step 1. I am going to select everyone here and I will add the tag. So just to remind ourselves, the name of that tag that kicks off the automation is called Email Maintenance Cold List Pruning. I will come here and check this. Now this selects everyone just on this page, but if I click right to the right here on the blue highlighted bar, select all 88 subscribers, I'll click on that. Now I've done a bunch of work. This segment obviously is not what I started with in my examples. That was 93,000 people. So just know this, if your list is quite long, like mine was enormous. Even if your list is in the thousands, this will take a little while to run. So especially if your list is larger, 2 things to know. Number 1, you can't do any other bulk actions until, ConvertKit works sequentially. So it needs to work through all of these bulk actions before it can do any others. So if you have a lot of other email maintenance tasks that you're planning to do that day, you want to move people between tags and things, do all of that work first before you do this. The other thing I will tell you is this is a great task to do at the end of the day. Just get this started and then you can walk away for the day and it will complete over the next few hours. So I will go into bulk actions here and choose add a tag and then add that tag. It was called Email Maintenance Cold List Pruning. I will check here, hit save, and that starts the process of adding everyone into your automation, which in turn starts that email re-engagement sequence. Now, however long your sequence was, so mine was 2 weeks long, I am going to set a calendar reminder for myself for 2 weeks plus 1 day from now, and that is the day that I told people I would unsubscribe them. You could give them an extra day if you want to, but just go in, make sure you've got a calendar reminder, and that will take us to the 3rd video, which will be 2 weeks into this process. We will review our results and I will walk you through the process of deleting everyone from your list. We'll talk about the things that you should know before you do that, and then I'll walk you through that process. Now, I know that this process feels scary. You worked really hard to get these people on your email list and now you're just gonna delete them. It feels completely scary and counterintuitive. And so we've put together an email series that is a companion to these videos that just gives you some more information. In the email that goes with this video, we give you the copy that we're using in the emails that I showed you, as well as links to ConvertKit automations so that you can just copy those straight into your ConvertKit account and then you can edit them as you see fit. To subscribe, go to smartpassiveincome.com/cold, and that will get you into that email series. In the next video, we walk through how to delete.